whatever. All of a sudden, he walked in there and he goes, well, how you been? Do you have the same job or do you, he's just carried on a conversation like normal. And it shocked me, the doctors were standing there and they're, like scratching their head. And then he goes, well, hey, your mom, because my mom passed on several years before my dad did. And he goes, Lorraine was this here and telling me that, she can't wait till we join each other again.
Aww.
And then he started talking about her brother Kippy and Ernie and all the, everybody else. And he said that they've been talking to him and they're all waiting for him. And my dad, sat there and said, well, son, we talked probably for about maybe 40 minutes. He goes, you got to go now. We won't ever be talking again because I'm going to die.
Oh.
And I'm going to go meet your mom in a few minutes. And, I talked to the doctor and he goes, no, his vital signs are all normal, and we're in shock. Well, anyway, I headed home. And by the time I got home, I get a phone call that my father passed away 10 minutes after I left.
Oh, what a beautiful story, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, my hairs are all just up. What a absolutely beautiful. You really want to document that for people to have later, pass on. That is an absolutely beautiful story.
Oh, yeah. He was just telling me about all of them. And he said that my mom looked as beautiful as when he first saw her. And, and just, he was describing all kinds of things. But he was not in what do you call it? I mean, because he was totally, asking me what, like what's going on with the news and all this stuff, in between all this stuff. So I know he wasn't, out there. I mean,
no, of course not.
But,
he was with it.
Yeah. And he was telling me.
He was coherent and he was with it.
Yeah.
And he was passing on and he said his goodbye to you. What an absolutely beautiful story.
Yeah.
See, something like that would have ended up in my book if I had talked to you before. That is an absolutely beautiful story.
Well, it shocked me, and I almost start crying every time I think about it because
I had tears when you were telling me. I had tears in my eyes. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, but my Uncle Kippy, I remember him from when I was a little kid. He worked in a place where they used to do tannery, and one of the guys opened up a trap door, and he fell through the trap door, and he broke his back. And he was like in the hospital, like 6 months in pain before he died from, the injuries.
Oh.
And my dad was saying that, he looked, strong. And he was during World War II, he was a championship fighter for the Navy. I mean, he held the championship for the U.S. Navy during World War II, or at least one of the years. And my dad's saying he looked just as good as he did, back during the 40s.
And well, that's the one thing is that, and I think the woman speaking of dementia's talked about this, is that we can't show up any way we want to.
I think so. I think, you go back to the time you're probably the most happiest in your life.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
and the most useful. Yeah.
I've had people show up and I've said, I've described them to whoever was with me at the time, the client, and they said, no, my grandmother was 95 when she died. And then I said, well, she's got her red heels on and her tight little pencil skirt. And they go back and then they say, oh, my God, I found a picture. It's a black and white one, so I don't know if they're red, but it's exactly what you were talking about. And I said, well, that's how she wants to be remembered. She don't want to be remembered as a 95-year-old woman, hunchback.
Well, could you imagine? Could you imagine? I would think instead of there is a heaven or if there's a hell, if you die, right, and you go to heaven and you're 90 years old and you're in a wheelchair and you can't use your legs and you can't use your one arm, it'd be horrible to go and go to heaven and live that way for the rest of eternity, So I think that's where, you're able to go back where you're at your most, best form in your life.
Yeah. Now, Gary, that could be even another talk, but we talk about when you get to the other side, what happens, because there's a lot that goes on the other side.
Oh, yeah. Now, hey, June, our time is up again. I need everybody.
This is a real pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on, and and talking about what interests both of us.
Well, I'm going to say, I'll have Linda get a hold of you the next week or two. If you like, I'd like to bring you on for another hour, maybe in November, and we can get into the other side.
Yeah,
and all
we
that
can
stuff.
get into other areas because people are interested. And if people do have a chance to get my book, I do have a beautiful ritual celebration of contacting your loved ones on Halloween, because Halloween's a big time to do that. So if they have a chance to pick it up, it's in there.
Okay, and tell everybody again, how can they find you on the
Well, they
website?
can find me, look at my webpage, june-ahern, AHERN.com or Amazon.com. You can just look me up on the web. I show up everywhere.
And do you have a Facebook page, too, where they can find you?
I do. June Ahern, author.
Okay, great. Hey, June, I really actually enjoyed having you on the show.
Yeah, it was fun. You're very easy to talk with, and I just loved our conversation. So I look forward to being on again.
Okay, June. Well, you have a great week.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Yeah, that always, astounds me. I mean, with my father, being basically, where he was nothing more than a vegetable for such a long time and then came out of it. And then, talking about current events type of thing and wanting to know current events. And he actually realized he's been gone emotionally or whatever. He realized that, when the doctor explained it to him right there. He acted like he did, but he was so, telling me so much about my mom and my uncles and, all that stuff. And it was so hard to take at the time, not take from the standpoint of believing. It just it was a weird feeling I've never had in my life. But the weirdest thing is to find out when I left, 10 minutes later, my father passed on. And I think he basically wanted to have closure because we kind of, it was just me and my brother and my mom. And me and my brother, we had conflict back and forth between each other. That caused conflict between, me and my dad and my mom. Me and my mom were very close. My brother and my dad were really close. And I think there was closure. It had to be done. And that's why I think he came back to me before he died to, finish off our closure and to, make each other, I guess, feel good or maybe heal me or something. I don't know. Well, anyway, later this week, we're going to be talking about UFOs. Now, we are still looking for guests. We burn through guests like you wouldn't believe, 5 a week. So, I mean, if you would like to be a guest on Night Dreams Talk Radio, be it on ghost hunting, be it on, medium or into UFOs or Bigfoot or Mothman or even telling scary stories, why not? I mean, Halloween is coming up. We've been doing it for the last month on Fridays. You can call in the last half an hour of our show and tell us scary stories. Now, again, for the people, this is a live broadcast, but it's replayed on iHeart, iTunes, TuneIns, and a bunch of different apps out there, Speaker Radio. And for them, I just want to tell you, we are on at a different time now. We're not on anymore from 8 to 10. We're on from 7 to 9 Pacific West Coast time. The reasoning for that is basically there's a lot of guests that live in the Midwest and the other side of the country. And, bring them on at 8 o'clock at night. It's 11 o'clock their time, so they're on for 2 hours. Now it's 1 o'clock, and we're talking about paranormal stuff. So I figured, why not do 7 to 9? Now, again, if you got a story about Mothman or Bigfoot, stuff like that, or UFOs, you can contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. That's Night Dreams Talk Radio, and just put gmail.com, and that'll get us to us. Now, this Friday, we got a scary Friday night coming on, the last half an hour. Yeah, you can win a gift, too, from Night Dreams Talk Radio. All you have to do is come up with a scary story, and, Halloween's coming up, so it can be about vampires, werewolves, You name it, even The Walking Dead. Why not? And our phone number for the weekends is 1-253-203-6695. Again, I want to say thank you for all the truckers that listen to Night Dreams Talk Radio. From all the reports and emails and texts I get from you guys, that you download the show and play it out late at night, when you're doing a long haul. And I really appreciate that a lot. And to all the listeners over in Europe, the UK, France, even Australia, we got a big listenership all over, actually, worldwide on Night Dreams Talk Radio. It keeps growing. And I want to thank all of you, to make this happen like it has. When I first started out, the first couple months, I was really, I didn't know if I wanted to continue on because there wasn't much in listenership. Now it's got to the size of a good-sized town, city of listeners. And that's really astounding in a year's time. And I want to thank each one of you. And I want to thank all of you that share us on your media and tell your friends about Night Dreams Talk Radio. Well, I'm going to get out of here. And again, this Friday, Scary Story Night. Everybody, have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Night Dreams, Scary Story Night on Friday nights. Call in at 9:30 p.m. Pacific at 1-253-203-6695.
You're listening to my friend Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio, the best in paranormal radio.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button. Give a buck or two. Remember, all prior shows are always free to listen to. We at Night Dreams Talk Radio thank you for your support.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And thank you.